In 2008, 3 years after being reunited with her family, Bobbi Parker went from helpless hostage to alleged accomplice. She was charged with helping convicted murderer Randolph Dial break out of prison.
I didn't know they were still investigating. So the day they brought charges, it was a shock.
She faced up to 10 years in prison. There was talk of a plea deal, but Bobbi was adamant.
I said no plea because I would have to plead guilty to something that I didn't do.
The case didn't go to trial for another 3 years in 2011. The state argued Bobbi had plenty of chances over the years to leave Dial, but didn't because she didn't want to.
I think Bobbi Parker perhaps had not a perfect marriage. Maybe she was lonely. Maybe she was susceptible to a nice-looking, very smooth-talking con man like Randolph Dial.
At the trial, the state called former detective and author Charles Sasser, who told jurors his take on his 2001 phone call with Dial and Bobbi.
She was with him willingly and that they were living this happy country life. And, you know, it was almost like it's idyllic that they're together and they're happy together.
That former inmate from years earlier testified about his affair with Bobbi. The other inmate in Granite said he'd seen Bobbi driving during the escape. And Randy's former boss, Warden Jack Cowley, testified about his observations that Bobbi and Dial seemed too cozy.
You took the stand for the prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I thought she's guilty.
Bobbi's attorney, Garvin Isaacs, put on an impassioned defense.
I took this case because Bobbi Parker's an innocent woman who's wrongfully accused of a crime she didn't commit.
Isaacs told jurors the state's case was built on faulty speculation, outright fabrication, and the suspicious testimony of convicted felons. For instance, that inmate who claimed he'd seen Bobbi drive Dial off the prison grounds, the defense showed he changed his story multiple times. And the inmate who claimed he'd had an affair with Bobbi, the defense proved he was mentally ill. His story, a complete fantasy.
This is the most outrageous case that I've ever been involved in. It's a great miscarriage of justice.
The defense couldn't call Randolph Dial to the stand. Dial had died behind bars before Bobbi was even charged. Instead, her attorney told the jury Dial had said or written about 100 times that he kidnapped Bobbi Parker.
Bobbi did not go with you willingly?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I was the hostage taker, and I'll probably live to regret it.
Then the defense tried to put someone else on trial, Warden Jack Cowley.
Jack Cowley's an incompetent warden.
Defense attorney Isaacs showed the jury a psychological report written about Dial 3 years before the escape. It described Dial as dangerous, with an extreme talent for manipulation. The report warned against letting Dial do his art around women, as he would inevitably begin to scheme.
The head of security told Jack Cowley, you need to read the psychological report, and Cowley said to him, you mind your business, I'm running this show.
The Parkers say they never saw the report before Cowley put Dial's pottery studio in their garage.
You didn't have any qualms about Randolph Dial?
Not one qualm whatsoever.
And it came out at trial that in the years after the escape, Cowley got 2 tips about where Dial and Bobbi were, but never told the FBI.
The way my philosophy was, he's not doing anything wrong in terms of committing other crime. So they're living their lives.
And you were okay with that?
I was content with it.
Even though he's a convicted murderer and you're a warden, and you get a call that he's out on the streets, Bobbi will say, he could have helped me.
Oh.
He could have told this to someone.
And
maybe I could have been found 2 years in instead of 10 years in.
Oh, then maybe that's true. Maybe it is my fault. I mean, is that where we're going?
That may have been where Bobbi's lawyer wanted to go, But the warden was not on trial. Bobbi was. And she chose not to testify.
Bobbi was not ready. It's too traumatic. She's better now. She's better every day.
So when we interviewed Bobbi Parker, we asked questions the jurors and countless others who'd wondered if she was a victim or an accomplice wanted to hear.
Did you fall in love with Randolph Dial?
No. No.
Did you help him plan and escape to get out of prison?
No.
Did you live with him as his lover?
No.
Coming up, Bobbi Parker explains it all.
I mean, the man is having a heart attack in a hospital, and even then, you don't leave.
What will a jury think? What will you?